Welcome to our Willow Creek Estates Market Update webinar. I'm Ron Wilstein, a broker at Keller Williams Luxury Properties Worldwide here in Park City, Utah, and I'm going to present to you an overview of what's been happening in the Park City real estate market, and then specifically what activity has been happening in the Willow Creek Estates neighborhood. I want to mention at the outset of this webinar that I'm going to do my best to try to anticipate your questions, but you may want to grab a piece of paper and a pen, jot down anything that may come to mind during the presentation. And if I haven't addressed it by the end, feel free to send me an email to ron@thewillsteinteam.com, and I'd be happy to respond to your questions. If you want me to call you, include your phone number, the best time to call, and I will certainly do that. With that in mind, let's hop right into our topic here. And let's begin by taking a look at an overview of the Park City real estate market. Over the past 12 months, we have seen 1,397 sales. Now this consists of homes, condominiums, and vacant land. This is all real estate brokerages combined because this data is from the Park City Multiple Listing Service. And it shows us that the market is up 12%. We've had 152 more sales during the last 12 months than the time before that. This graph here will show you what it consists of, but let me stress that the data we're looking at here is from April 2013 through to March, the end of March 2014. That's depicted by the red bars, and the blue bars are the same 12-month period the year before. So we can see a relationship between what has changed this year versus the year before. Homes rose by 7%. We saw 531 sales the year before and 569 this past year. So this is good news. In the condo market, it rose by 15% to 621 sales from 539 the year before. And the lot market was actually the strongest with 18% increase from 175 sales of vacant land, single-family lots, to 207 sales this past 12-month period. But everybody wants to know about prices. What's happening in the Park City market when it comes to real estate values? We're looking at a graph showing the home medium sold prices for that same time period, April 2013 through March 2014. I've divided this into two categories, the Park City market and then the Snyderville Basin, which is sort of the county Park City market, if you will. Inside the city limits, the medium sold price rose from $1,100,000 up to $1,250,000. That's a 14% appreciation year over year, so that's very nice. Snyderville Basin, we saw an increase of 11% from $642,500 to $713,000. Again, a nice increase in value, showing the strength of our market. When we turn to condominiums, inside the city limits, it was relatively flat, a slight decrease, $500 to less than 1%. The medium sold price went from $490,000 to $489,500. So for all intent and purposes, it remained unchanged. In the Snyderville Basin, however, we saw a big increase of 24% from $270,750 up to $335,000 as a medium sold price. But the biggest increase came with vacant lots. We saw in the Park City limits that the median price rose from $515,000 for a lot to $677,000. That's a 31% increase year over year. The Snyderville Basin saw similar figures with an increase from $239,000 as the median price to $310,000 this past year, a 30% increase. Now, what's accounting for the increased activity in the lot market is we're running out of homes. Our inventory of homes for sale is the lowest it's been since the very height of the market. Buyers aren't finding what they want in a home, so they're now looking to vacant land to consider buying what they want. And that's feeding our lot market. Now this graph here, I've included it because it shows the progression of our market. If you go back to 2005, you see the very height of the Park City real estate market. We saw 2,912 sales that year. Again, this is homes, condominiums, and vacant land. This is all real estate brokerages combined. And then the recession hit. Then the mortgage crisis hit. And the market plummeted. not just in Park City, but across the country. And by the time we got to 2009, we had lost 77% of our sales. Huge drop in the marketplace. But good news, it's recovered. We now have 4 years of consecutive increases, and it's nice and steady. You can see from the bar graph for the Park City marketplace. So our market is in great shape. Our values are increasing. It's good news all around. So let's turn our attention to Willow Creek Estates now and see what's been happening in your neighborhood. Home sales in Willow Creek are actually down by 20% over last year's sales. Now, is that a big deal? Well, last year or the year before there were 5 sales. Now there's 4. It's one house. But statistically speaking, it is 20%. I want to talk about absorption rate for a moment here, because what we're seeing in Willow Creek Estates is that we're seeing one sale every 91 days as the absorption rate. Now what we're looking at here is we're saying, based upon the number of sales that occurred last year, how often are properties selling? How many days for one property to sell? We arrived at 91 days, or basically 3 months. Now, how does this tie into the future projections? Well, there are currently 4 homes on the market in the Willow Creek Estates neighborhood, which means that if we're seeing one sale every 3 months, we've got a 12-month inventory. Now, the National Association of Realtors says that a balanced market where you have an equal number of buyers and sellers, what they regard as the healthiest of all markets, is a market where you have the equal balance, and usually a 6-month inventory is what most places have for a balanced market. In resort towns like Park City, it's usually 9 months is a balanced market. Here in your particular neighborhood, Willow Creek Estates, is 12 months, and that's larger than most neighborhoods in Park City right now that are pretty popular, but not a huge difference. It's 3 extra months, but it just gets into pricing, as it always does. But that gives you an idea that if you were to put your property on the market and no new properties came on the market, that it could conceivably take that long to sell. Sold prices. In your neighborhood in Willow Creek Estates, we've seen sale prices from $1,695,000 all the way up to $2,170,000, with the median sold price being $1,710,000. Now that's actually down about 16% from last year. $2,033,750 was the median. Then it's now at $1,710,000. It actually is an area where it's gone down. Most neighborhoods, frankly, have gone up, but modest change, and you have to actually go back and look at the specific properties to see if this is typical of your neighborhood or it's just the unique quality of those properties that did sell. Vacant land, well, there hasn't been a lot sold in Willow Creek for quite some time. The most recent lot sale actually goes back to 2011. Sold for $485,000. There are no lots currently on the market, so if you happen to be a lot owner, you were thinking about selling it, it's a little bit random. We would evaluate other neighborhoods, but just haven't seen lot sale in quite some time there. Now, if you would like to receive a printout of the information that I've basically presented, basically the data I'm talking about, the specific homes that sold either last year or for the complete 24-month period, I'm happy to send it to you. Just email me at ron@thewillowsteinteam.com. Tell me you want the data from the webinar, and I'll send that to you. And what's nice about it is you'll receive it by email. You can click on it and see the pictures of each property, the details, and if you want to actually have a hard copy, you can print out from there, or I can mail you one if you want. Finally, I want to just conclude and let you know that the information that I've covered here, you can get a lot of that on our website whenever you wish. You don't have to wait till the next webinar comes out. I tend to do these webinars every 6 months, but you can certainly get information anytime you want, either by looking at the website or making a specific request. But if you want to bookmark BuyParkCityRealEstate.com, our website, then /Willow Creek Estates, and I think you can go to Willow Creek also. or the WillowSteinTeam.com at Willow Creek, then it will actually take you to a page that I've created on my site. This is the page. It's specifically devoted to Willow Creek Estates, and you'll notice that there's two buttons here, a green one and a maroon one. The green one says watch a webinar for an update. In essence, if you click that, you would be watching this webinar. This other one, send me current sales data, allows you to do just that, to put in information. And what you would do, just as an example, you could click on that. That takes you to this quick form, current sales data request. You type in your name, address, the computer's uploaded mine automatically, your email. You can put in your mailing address if you want. If you're not already receiving, we'll send you our quarterly newsletter if you do that, but that's up to you. And then in subdivision, you would just type in Willow Creek, and you could identify yourself either as a buyer if you're a buyer, a seller if you're a property owner, and then if you have a particular question, what's been selling in our neighborhood, whatever you want, you can put that there, and then just click submit form, and that will come to me, and I'll get you that information right away. So that's a quick and dirty way to get to that information. Let's go back to this page. So we're at the Willow Creek Estates page. If I go lower down, I'll see the properties that are on the market, and you can highlight either the view listing or the address or the picture. And if you click on that, you'll immediately be taken to that property, and you'll get lots of good information here. You'll see the price, the number of bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, when the property was built, and of course it's scrolling through a number of the pictures that show you what the property looks like, and that's a nice thing to see when you're on a website. If you have questions, you can click the inquire, or you can request a showing, or a lot of people like to save their properties that they look at and actually keep track of them on the website, and you can simply click on add to your favorites list if you want. And if you go lower down, you'll get more information about the property. So all good information, and again, you could request a showing or ask information about the property. So what this is this will show you what is actively on the market in the Willow Creek Estates neighborhood, and that changes all the time. The requesting current sales data that I mentioned earlier, if you want to know about closed sales, if you want to know about pending sales, that's what you'd request, and we would get that information off to you right away. If you happen to be curious what your property is worth in today's market, just send me an email, and I'm happy to contact you, arrange a time to visit, and provide you with that information. There's no cost, there's no obligation, but to give you good information about the marketplace. Finally, as I conclude, let me mention to you that every month we host a Park City Market Talk webinar. It runs approximately 20 minutes, sometimes a little shorter. And what we do is we cover, we give you an update on the Park City real estate market, like what we covered at the beginning of this webinar in terms of sales, a little more detail, a few more categories. And then whatever is in the news on Park City that's attracting people's attention, or certain questions that we keep getting asked over and over and again, obviously on people's minds, we discuss those on the webinar. So they're pretty informative. We update them every month on the second Tuesday of the month. And if you want a reminder, again, an email, just ask for it. We'll send you a reminder. And you can always go back into our archives at the WillowSteinTeam.com/webinar archives, see what other topics we've covered in the past. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this webinar. Hope it's been informative. If you're curious about the value of your property, let me know. I'm glad to help you out, and enjoy your day. Bye-bye.